Gesellschaften. Rechtsschutzversicherung, Rechtsschutzgesellschaften. Versicherungsgesellschaft. Rechtsschutzgesellschaft. Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaft. I can't even say it myself. Welcome to another learning day with Glossika. My name is Julian and I'm your host today. So today I want to teach you a little German. The German language, besides being known for its, well, rather harsh and aggressive tone, some of my friends would say, it is also known for its hard to pronounce compound nouns. While a word's length isn't always related to its difficulty in pronunciation, the sheer amount of letters is enough to just frighten any experienced language learner. Add to the mix some unusual looking letters and sounds, and you've got yourself a formula for a hard to pronounce language. Today I'm going to teach you how to crack the formula. As intimidating as these words can be, there are ways to break them down. After all, most compound words are compound nouns, meaning they are two or more words meshed together. So, without further ado, let's start with our first word. Let's start easy with a small compound word. Rührei. 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 It means scrambled eggs. Now, rühren means stirring, and Ei, that's the egg. The R in German is pronounced in the back of the throat. Rührei. Now, the second R in this word, the R, is almost not pronounced. It's kind of like in the English language, like the British English, you would say Rührei. It just ends. Rührei. Now, the Ü, that is an umlaut. We call it an umlaut. The Ü is somewhat between an U and an I. So if you kind of say an U and now you go into an I, you will find the Ü. U, Ü. U, Ü, I. And then you just tightly round your lips and you're right there. Let's move on to another compound word. Now, Eichhörnchen. 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 Now that is an interesting word because actually it's almost three compound words. We have Eich, which comes from Eiche, which is the oak tree. We have Hörnchen. Horn is the horn. Now, Chen makes something cute and tiny. And so the Hörnchen is actually a squirrel. So Eichhörnchen is simply a squirrel. Now, squirrel, you may notice from my English, is also difficult to pronounce in English. So Eichhörnchen and squirrel in both languages, very difficult to pronounce words. Now, drei Käse hoch. Drei Käse hoch. Drei Käse hoch is a funny word in the German language, which proves that Germans may also have some humor here and there. Drei is three. Käse is the cheese, and hoch means high. So, three cheeses high. So this is a way to describe a person who is, well, lacking in height. Well, you shouldn't use this word though to describe a small person. You can use it to describe a small child, and it is becoming somewhat cute to call a little child drei Käse hoch. By the way, we have another video with difficult to pronounce German words, and you can see that the description is below. Check it out and see how my friends are trying to pronounce these words. Now on to more difficult compound nouns. I promise you though, they are not that scary. First we have Streichholzschächtelchen. 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 Now, that's even hard to pronounce in German with all the different sounds we have. So the SCH is sh, the CH is ch, and the S remains the S. Streichen means to strike. Holz is the wood, and Schächtelchen is the cute way to say, with the chen being the cute way to say a box. And what we have is a small matchbox. Verschlimmbesserung. 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 Now that word is almost contradicting in itself. We have Besserung, which means something is getting better, or you make something better, and schlimm is just a terrible thing. So what it means now is to make something worse in an attempt to make it better. A Schnapsidee. Schnapsidee. Now, what could a Schnapsidee be? Two parts again in this word. We have Schnaps, which is a type of liquor, a type of booze. And we have the Idee, which is simply an idea. So it is an idea that you only do when you are already drunk. So it's not a good idea at all. Arbeitslosigkeitsversicherung. 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 That is a word that, as difficult as it looks, we actually use in German. It's not a made-up compound word sort of to make fun, such as the Donau-Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaft that no German actually uses. Now, Arbeitslosigkeitsversicherung is something we actually use in German, being a very bureaucratic country. Arbeitslosigkeitsversicherung. Arbeit is work. Arbeitslos means you're out of work. And the Versicherung is an insurance. So it's an unemployment insurance. Now we're coming to a funny little word that is actually hard to pronounce. Quietscheentchen. 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 Now remember, the QU is actually more pronounced like a KV sound. Quietscheentchen. It's not pronounced Quietscheentchen. Quietscheentchen is a rubber duck. Quietschen is a verb that means to make the sound that a rubber duck is doing, and Entchen is simply tiny duck. Kreuzschlitzschraubenzieher. Now that's also hard to pronounce because we have again a lot of sh sounds and now even combined with a lot of s sounds. Kreuzschlitzschraubenzieher. Kreuzschlitzschraubenzieher. It's a word that we may not use so much in German because it's a very specific type of Schraubenzieher. And that Schraubenzieher is actually that compound word that you want to focus on. Schraubenzieher. It is a screwdriver. And Kreuzschlitz is simply the screwdriver which has the tip that is in the form of a cross. In English, this would actually be called the Phillips screwdriver. Schlittschuhlaufen. Schlitten, Schlitt, would be skating or sliding. Schuh is the shoe. And Laufen is somewhat like walking, going, hiking. Now, Schlittschuhlaufen therefore is ice skating. Unabhängigkeitserklärung. 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 Now, important here is to say unabhängig and not unabhängig. It wouldn't be Unabhängigkeitserklärung, but Unabhängigkeitserklärung. Unabhängigkeitserklärung is the declaration of independence. Sozialversicherungsfachangestellten Auszubildender. Sozialversicherungsfachangestellten Auszubildender. I say it one more time, even slower. Sozialversicherungsfachangestellten Auszubildender. It simply means a trainee assistant social insurance broker. It's becoming slightly ridiculous because these words we don't really use, but they're fun because we can really put any compound words next to each other, and if you really understand them, you can still make sense of them. Now this one is a rather easy word, 555. It is easy in its meaning, but it is difficult to pronounce because we have all these different f sounds and the different ü sounds. 555. 555. 555. Now this means 555. And you see 500, 500, 5, 5 und 50 and 50. 555. Now what do we have here? This is a difficult word. According to Guinness World Records, this is the longest German word that is still used in everyday language. Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaften. Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaften. Now, let me break this down. Rechtsschutz is legal protection. Versicherung is an insurance company. And Gesellschaft, that's a society or a company. So, Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaften, I say it slower. Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaften. Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaften. It simply means, in the end, insurance companies providing legal protection. Not that simple, but Germans have one word for that. Rechtsschutzversicherungsgesellschaften. And if you're interested in learning German, and I encourage you to do so, even without going to Germany, you can do so with the Glossika app the link below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen und tschüss.